There's a bigger issue here. Just because a group of people belong to the Federation, it does not mean that they are saints. The trouble is Earth. On Earth, there is no poverty, no crime, no war. You look out the window of Starfleet headquarters and you see paradise. Well, it's easy to be a saint in paradise. Out there, all the problems haven't been solved yet. Out there are no saints, just people. Angry, scared, determined people who are going to do whatever it takes to survive.
What I want to know is, out of all the stories you told me, which ones were true and which ones weren't?
My dear doctor, they're all true.
Even the lies?
Especially the lies.
On behalf of the Bajoran government
and the Promenade Merchants Association,
I officially welcome you to Deep Space Nine.
Welcome back, everybody, to Especially the Lies, a Deep Space Nine podcast. We are now a few episodes into discussing Season 2 as we continue on through these episodes. We've come up with one that we'll see how the discussion goes after the last few weeks. I think we've had some interesting reactions. Some of our normal people who are our rays of sunshine have not liked the episodes, so we felt a little out of place with that one, but hopefully we're getting back to normal. I am Blake, and with me tonight is...
Emily.
Prentice. Chris.
Sorry, Nicole.
And Christopher.
And we now have voiceover work being done on the podcast. This is impressive.
That's why I couldn't say my name. I was laughing too hard.
Chris, thank you for the overlay of my voice.
I felt like it was one of those Asian movies where their mouth is moving and then all of a sudden you hear the words.
I was struggling trying to get the audio off and on, and Chris like Prentice. I'm like, okay, that works. That works. All right, back to the show.
And we're already on snort number 3 from Nicole.
Yes,
we got a snort count going.
Now, you all notice we are missing Mike and Jessi both this evening. For those listeners, it's been a few weeks for you, but for us, we just released Second Sight, our first episode back. And in that episode, if you recall, Mike told Jessi, "Shut up, Jessica." So they're both missing this evening. We don't know if that's related or if it's strictly coincidental. We'll have to see which one, if both, come back next week and join us for the show. But we're wishing Mike all the best and all the safety out there, considering he called her Jessica. That usually doesn't end well for individuals, but we'll see how that goes. So, Nicole, I believe you have a synopsis for us tonight.
I do. Okay, so Bashir and O'Brien go to help the Talani and make an amazing breakthrough in science, all to get bombarded and marked for death. The Talani tell Starfleet that they are dead, but luckily enough, Keiko figured out they are lying bastards, and Cisco outsmarts their bitch asses.
There we go. We are definitely stepping up the creative on our synopsises, I think, after some of the ones we had for Babylon 5 when we were doing Ray 17. So it's good to see the enhanced synopsises we've been going with. So for those who have not listened or still trying to figure out how the hell this show works, God knows we are. We have a group of individuals who we are making watch this show for the first time. As you've realized from our shows, we like to punish our friends and make them watch things that are 30 years old and not use the internet. And then we have some of us who have seen this show many, many times. So what we're going to do is jump in with our new fans and have them give us their first impression. So let's go ahead and start with... Oh, how much do I want to confuse the listeners tonight? Let's go ahead and start with Chris.
All right. So from the very opening second of this episode, when I saw the Talani's hairdos, their hairstyle, I was like, okay, we're in some fuckery today. Jesus Louise, what was going on with the hair? I was like, oh my God. But it didn't take me out the episode. I actually liked the episode because I felt the stakes were high for once, like real stakes, right? We had main characters whose lives were on the line, who were caught in a very serious situation. It wasn't more so precarious, it was life or death. So that was a pleasant surprise for me. Yeah, when it was kind of predictable in a way. I kind of saw it coming, the way it ended, and I won't go over everything since it's just kind of an overview right now. But I did like the episode. I thought that there had to be some way for them to be able to analyze the footage, to be able to tell that it was doctored or that it, but I don't know if their technology just isn't there yet. I don't know, but I felt like there should have been a way for them to easily be like, let's analyze this and see. Kira and Odo both had asked if they were, or not asked, they said, I want to interview or I want to interrogate or whatever their chief of security, and then it was just never brought up again. I don't know if they did or not, or if it was just something that happened, but it got caught on the editing floor. I don't know. But as far as it structure-wise, putting together, telling the story, I felt like there were some holes. The plot was slipping or was showing a little bit. But overall, I did like it because they upped the stakes. There was real clear present danger for our main characters, and it actually drew me in, and I was invested in that to see how they all were able to make it out, or were going to be able to make it out.
Nicole.
Well, I actually liked this episode. Yay.
Yes, she's back.
No, I did. I enjoyed this episode. There was some moments of tenseness, some worry, some concern. I felt like it took you on an emotional roller coaster. Like, obviously, we knew they were alive, but watching, like, the Starfleet Command's hearts get shattered was a little sad. And then when he went to go tell Keiko, it was just sad. But it was really, I think for me, my favorite part of the episode was the Bashir and O'Brien dynamic. We don't really get to see them together a lot, and we know O'Brien is not the biggest fan of Bashir. But like when they were faced with this like situation where they might not make it, they were very candid and they spoke very openly about stuff. And I feel like that was the first time that we really got a little bit more backstory on Bashir and some of his experiences prior to Starfleet besides chasing women. But yeah, I really enjoyed that a lot. Obviously, I'm glad they lived. I'm glad that they were okay and that Cisco and Dax were able to save them and outsmart those crazy ass haired alien guys. But yeah, I also thought too, Chris, when they came on the screen, I'm like, what the hell are we dealing with these hairdos? But one thing one thing that made me laugh was O'Brien saying, just because you're married doesn't mean you stop looking. I'm like, well, yeah, that's so true. But he had the balls to say it openly. Yeah, Scott. And then when Quark,
you wonder where he got the line.
Oh, good to know. But then Quark, when he said, good customers are like platinum, treasure them, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of sweet for Quark. I'm like, oh, he relates everyone to money, but that's still sweet. So it was kind of a tender moment for Quark, I liked. But I do want to say one thing. Everyone is really hot for Kira and Dax, rightfully so. But man, don't sleep on Keiko. She's beautiful. When Cisco came in the room to tell her about O'Brien, I was like, wow, she is stunning. Like when she was like playing with the art stuff or whatever, she's beautiful. Like, damn, okay, O'Brien, like you did good. So I guess I never really noticed how beautiful she was before, but she was gorgeous.
She was an Asian sensation for sure.
Well, have you seen the 3 body problem yet?
The what?
The 3 body problem.
No, yeah. I don't think we watched that one yet.
Well, you'll see 30 years later, she did not age too well, but I digress.
Oh, good to know. So can I Google that? Is that safe to Google?
No.
Got it.
And Christopher.
So this is an O'Brien episode, and when I first saw him being one of the main protagonists, I thought, great, I'm going to have to slog through this episode and just get over it, especially with him paired with Bashir, because the two of them together just annoy the hell out of me normally. But this time, the dichotomy between the two of them actually works. His arrogance, Bashir's arrogance, and O'Brien's kind of down-to-earth everyman really, really worked for this episode. I also thought, hey, if O'Brien had talked to his wife about work, she would know that he drinks coffee in the afternoon, so there was a plot hole for me there. And when Commander Cisco was telling him that they had to stay for the dinner in their honor, the look on O'Brien's face where he was like, do I have to? Like, I've seen that. I know that mandatory fun face. That's been my face many times. So it did make him a little bit more relatable in my eyes.
Prentice.
All right, just like Nicole said, my moment with Quark was heartwarming. He was a capitalist through and through. He said, oh my goodness, I'm losing my best customers. I was dying with that comment. But the killer part of the episode for me, and by the way, it was a good episode. It was a good Star Trek episode, so no complaints there. But my favorite part of the episode is at the end of the episode when Keiko is talking to O'Brien saying, I knew it wasn't real because oh no, you only drink coffee in the morning. He's like, what are you talking about? I actually start drinking coffee in the afternoon recently. She's like, you did? So basically, you don't know your husband as much as you thought you did. And that was the most hilarious joke in the episode. It was a good episode. Yes, Chris, I also looked at the hairstyles of the aliens. I said, wow, they were really going for some kind of German early 1990s, very avant-garde look, I guess. But this is a weird alien hairdo. But yeah, it was funny. But the episode was decent. It was a decent episode.
Emily.
I do like this episode. I think it's a good Bashir and O'Brien dynamic. And it's funny that you said, Christopher said there was a plot hole that O'Brien doesn't talk to Keiko about work. He actually said that in the previous episode. When he was in the tunnel, he's like, yeah, don't tell my wife about this. I don't tell her what I do. I just say, it was fine. So it's not surprising she doesn't know the details of his work, but it is kind of funny that he wouldn't have had coffee in the afternoon, even if he wasn't at work, maybe on a weekend. But I thought this was a good Bashir episode because he was less arrogant, he was less annoying, he was actually like more confident and competent as compared to some of the prior episodes. And O'Brien's a good dude. Poor guy had to suffer though.
So I also like this episode. I will say, as a functioning caffeine addict, I do relate to the all-day coffee drinking, and so I'd be screwed in this scenario. When they're going to realize the problem with me is when I don't have the coffee cup in my hand. That is usually when people catch in that there's something wrong. But I really like the dynamic with O'Brien and Bashir and what you see with those two, because they're two completely opposite characters, and they put them into this situation together. The original version of the script was actually supposed to be Dax and Bashir, and I don't think that would have worked anywhere near as well as what we ended up with, having it be O'Brien and Bashir with those two playing off each other, especially as you've said, because O'Brien cannot stand Bashir, and having them be there together, especially right there at the end when Julian starts in on people who have had these near-death experiences and the bond it creates. You just look at O'Brien going, would you shut the fuck up and get out of here? I love that ending with it. So I think this is a good one as far as the story and what it puts in with the characters. It gives us a little glimpse into these two. And that's one thing. I mean, this episode really was centric on those two characters for the majority of it. And that carries a lot of weight when you've got two characters that have to carry almost the entire episode. And I think they pulled it off. So let's go ahead and get into our discussion. I see hands showing up already. So let's start with Nicole, who's even dancing, I see.
Yeah, I'm just moving back and forth. So one of the things I think, to kind of continue what you were saying, Blake, with Bashir and O'Brien in this episode, I feel like they were saying some of the quiet things out loud that people don't say, and like they were having actual genuine discussions about marriage and life. I really liked O'Brien's sentiments about how marriage is like the best adventure, and I just thought it was really sweet that like you can tell that he really loves his wife and he loves being a dad and he really enjoys being married, and all the things that he was saying were just so sweet. And Julian kind of feeling like, oh, I'm just going to be a career officer and I'm probably never going to get married because then they have to worry about them and they have to worry about me. I just thought it was really interesting because I felt like their views were completely opposite and different, but I also feel like they kind of came to understand each other a little bit more. And maybe even he changed Julian's mind a little bit. He said, you should call that girl, or you should not give up. And I just really enjoyed their very candid discussions because, like I said in my first thoughts, that it really gave us an insight into them. And Bashir is a woman chasing man whore, whatever, but like I really appreciate the fact that he talked about that girl that he loved, and that, like, yeah, obviously she was beautiful, but she was intelligent. Like, it kind of showed a little more dimension to him. I have always liked Bashir from the beginning, even though he's a little awkward, but like I felt like we got more dimension with him. We got more out of him. And I appreciated that because we're in halfway through second season, and I feel like we've gotten a lot of episodes with a lot of the characters where we kind of have a little bit more about them. But I feel like this was really the first time that we got to dig a little deeper into those two characters. And I actually really enjoyed it. I also love O'Brien. He's like my favorite from the beginning. And I enjoyed his kind of annoyance with Bashir, but also like willingness to have those discussions. And when Bashir said that, he called him out and he said that when you came here, this is causing problems in your marriage. And O'Brien was pissed that he said that, but also he even said it's true. You know what I mean? So I just really, I feel like they had a way of getting things out of each other and evoking different feelings and emotions in a way that we haven't seen before. And I just really, really enjoyed and appreciated that. And yeah, I thought it was funny too at the end, but I drink coffee in the afternoon. You do? Like, so her honest mistake though is what saved their lives, to be honest. You know what I mean? So it was hilarious because yeah, it's like, oh shit, she doesn't know him, but oh shit, if she didn't say that, they would have not been found. So yeah, that was probably the thing I appreciated the most, and I just really hope we can kind of see that continue, and maybe eventually they'll become friends, and O'Brien won't be so annoyed with him, but we'll have to see if that happens.
Chris?
Yeah, so on the O'Brien part two, this episode, I've never disliked him. I was more, I guess, just kind of indifferent. Thought he was a good character, but didn't put too much stock in him. But this episode made me like him more. Bashir, I'm still kind of don't really give a shit about. But I think it was a good idea to put them together as opposed to Dax and Bashir together, because I feel like there's a much more heightened and natural conflict between the two, which adds another layer or another dimension of the conflict in this episode, which again bumps the stakes and I think makes it more interesting. In the beginning, when the Kelleran came in and just started blasting, I was like, okay, I mean, we're getting down to it, like right from the beginning. I don't know, just hasn't seemed to be a lot of action in a lot of these episodes. And so to actually see some of that battle, I guess, so to speak, take place, it was a good surprise to me. But when they were saying, oh, that's not enough, we have to make sure that we get rid of every single last bit tied to the, I can't remember what they called it, the, what was the machine called? The thing that was that they were using in warfare.
Harvester.
Yeah, when they were like, we have to get rid of every last bit of the harvester. In my mind, I'm like, well, you can destroy all the machines, you can get rid of all the pieces, but you still got the scientists who know how to make it. And then they started revealing that throughout the episode. That was the big twist. We got to get rid of anybody that has any knowledge of them. I'm like, I saw that in the first 5 minutes. So, okay. So when they came in blasting, I was like, well, all right, that makes sense. They're going to get rid of all the scientists, and then they were going to kill O'Brien and Bashir. I'm like, makes sense. So I kind of, like I said, I kind of saw it coming, but nevertheless, it still didn't ruin the episode for me. I thought when O'Brien and Bashir were alone and they were talking, when Bashir opened his mouth and started talking about Keiko, started talking about O'Brien's wife and his marriage, he should have tapped his jaw. I know he had like alien cancer or some shit, but he still should have tested his jaw for coming out his face talking like that. But again, they were, I guess, scraping away those top layers of conflict between the two, and we're kind of getting to the nerve, right? Like making it more raw and more real. Yeah, again, I thought Odo and Kira were gonna, when they mentioned they wanted to question the chief security officer over there, I was like, well, is somebody gonna do it? And they just never got back to it. So I'm like, I think they kind of fumbled that one there. Cisco, I thought was better in this episode. It was a more serious episode, so he didn't have to smile and he didn't have to, try to be a happy captain or a happy commander, I should say. So I felt like he did a lot better in this episode. Hasn't been a lot of Kira lately. I don't know. I feel like she's just kind of been popping up here and there, like, hey, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. So I was hoping to get some more Kira action because she is some fine shit, but they never put her in the episode. So I'm like, okay, let's put her in. And then, like I said, she never got to interrogate the chief security officer. So wish didn't get answered there. But long story short, I thought it was clever how they kind of resolved it with them on the runabout. And there was the extra one. I don't know if they mentioned the extra one earlier, if that was a little bit Deus Ex Machina there at the end where they just kind of threw it in. Like, bam, extra runabout. All right, we're going to make it, this is how we're going to explain their getaway. If they did mention it earlier on.
The runabout was the one that they came in on, the Ganges. That was the one that Bashir and O'Brien came in on. And then the commander and Dax it was Dax, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had to come in on the other runabout.
Okay.
So there was the one that was there for O'Brien and Bashir, and then the one that they came in on. So there were two.
Okay, yeah, that That didn't occur to me. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. Well, I thought it was clever how they did that, right? Like they kind of jumped to one, so the sensors were down, and then played chicken with the other one, and then warped and got away. That was slick. And then the end, the joke with Keiko, she's like, "You don't." I thought it was funny, but I also kind of felt like that undermined, like they talked up marriage so much in this episode and how it's the greatest thing, and you find your soulmate, so to speak, and you guys build this life together, and you're in tune with one another, and it's the most rewarding relationship you can ever have. And then you've come to find out that Keiko, she's the one that cracks it, right? It's not an analysis of the footage. It's not Odo's Columbo work. It's Keiko's like, hey, he never drinks coffee in the afternoon. So I really liked it. I felt like it all was in theme. All the themes were in line. Everything was working. And then she goes, wait a minute, you don't? I was like, they kind of just undermined that part of the episode a little bit for me with the, even though it didn't land and it was funny. I was like, well, that kind of takes away some of the steam of what they were going with the marriage is phenomenal thing. But yeah, I don't know. There was just a lot going on, good. And then there were those few things that kind of left me scratching my head, like, what are we doing here?
And Christopher.
So I think with the marriage talk between Bashir and O'Brien, you're kind of seeing again this like the yin and the yang between the two of them, right? Bashir is the playboy, the doctor. You have O'Brien as the everyman, the enlisted guy who the family man, and it was real effective for them to use marriage and relationships to kind of peel the layers off of both of the characters and humanize both of them, right? Which is something with Bashir because he's so damn arrogant, right? He comes in when they transport out and he's all ready to just start doing shit. And he's like, let's open this up. We need food. We need this. And O'Brien's there and he's like, this may be booby trapped. Calm down. Like, let's not get us into anything else. You want to be the hero, but you don't have the training. You don't know what the hell you're doing. And you're going to get us all killed if in your need to want to be the hero. And I think in marriage, in the marriage talk, Bashir is, because I want to be this hero, because I chose Starfleet and career over marriage. You don't have to do that. I mean, they bring families on the ships, right? They specifically put Keiko on the station so you know that they can have family there, right? Jake is with Cisco. So it's more of Bashir's kind of naivete and his arrogance, and he got scorned once, and I think he's still kind of pissed about it, is that she didn't seem to want to go on this grand adventure with him, and he wanted to, and now he's just pissed off at the world, and so he becomes this playboy instead of, he lost his one love, and now he's scorned, and now he kind of resents marriage, right? And so I did enjoy that, how they humanized both of them, and you can see where their personalities are coming from. Another thing I wanted to mention, and was kind of mentioned in some of y'all's first thoughts, was when I saw the Talani and the Kelleran for the first time, I just thought, okay, so we have another alien race with big hair, pointy ears, and they're just a bunch of white people, right? Like, I mean, the Wadi, the Sakria, like, funny hair, different ears, maybe a different nose, but white people, right? Like, just something I've noticed throughout the episodes. Maybe costuming and casting should, maybe look out a little bit more.
You mentioned Bashir and his arrogance, though, and I have to be honest, Scott many, many times would tell me which character he thought he was from DS9. And there are multiple times I just went, dude, you're fucking Bashir. You just are, with the insufferable arrogance. And then he would get mad at me and tell me how I was wrong.
Just proving his point.
Notice how no one here is disagreeing with your
we're really
assessment.
No one else on the show is disagreeing with that.
He was our lovable asshole.
He was.
Nicole.
One thing I wanted to point out too, which you guys are going to make fun of me for, and I don't care. When Dax and Kira were talking at the bar, and she was saying that she has Julian's diaries from medical school, and it's his like innermost thoughts and feelings and fears and da da da, and she hadn't read it yet. And she was maybe should give it to his parents, and Kira was like, you should keep him because he cared about you. And she said, I care about him too. And I was like, there's hope. Maybe they'll happen. So my shipping is now back on for those two because usually when you think he's dead is when she finally admits that she actually cares. And as much as she turns his ass down, there is a little flirtation back from her. And I think that they definitely are like a schoolyard crush. And I'm really hoping that it escalates.
Nicole, for those who have joined this show and did not listen to Gray 17, one, go listen to Gray 17, a Babylon 5 podcast. God damn it. We still want the views on that one. But for those who did listen to that, Nicole was our resident shipper, and I think she shipped more than FedEx during that goddamn show.
Sure did.
Anybody that passed across the screen, she was shipping them off with somebody. Chris.
That's funny because of all the people that if Bashir lands Dax, if he gets that one, I'm just gonna have to shake my head like, okay, all right. I mean, obviously somebody in that writer's room won rock paper scissors or something because I don't see that one working at all. But I have to call bullshit on Bashir when he was going through his whole the one that got away speech, and he was talking about the prima ballerina and how she had gorgeous, exceptional feet. Anybody that knows ballet knows that ballerinas have the most fucked up feet in the world. So I don't know if the writers just didn't know that, or if that was him lying, making up a Kaiser Soze type story on the spot. Like, I was like, wait a minute, wait, what? She's a ballerina, not like a casual ballerina, right? Like, this is like what she did. So she had some mangled ass claws, some talons that she was working with. And he's like, oh, her feet were so beautiful, such pronounced arches. Yeah, her arches may have been crazy, but the toes was jacked.
Maybe that's what he was into, though. That could have been his kink.
We don't kink shame here.
We don't kink shame here.
We kink judge, though.
No, I will shame. Feet are fucking nasty. No way. Fuck it. Feet. No, if you like feet, you're a freak. Sorry.
Chris, all I'm saying is the 24th century, they could have advanced technology to repair your feet. It could be the case you get some great manicure, pedicures. It could be her feet are beautiful. But that is a real aesthetic.
But if she's a professional ballerina, even if she gets them fixed, they're just going to get fucked up again. Like, that's not something that you.
It's like she takes a picture. It's like in the future, the 24th century, she can simply turn on the machine to repair her feet every day.
There's high-tech ballet shoes, okay? It's fine.
High-tech booties. She's got high-tech booties that she puts on when she goes to sleep at night and fix her fucked up toes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that we've talked foot fetishes, let's go to our resident smut expert. Emily, what you got?
Okay, I'm not talking about feet because I also find that creepy and unsettling. But no, to Christopher's point about Bashir not thinking before trying to open the supplies, to me that makes sense. O'Brien has been in a combat zone. He's been in combat. He understands that more, whereas Bashir is thinking more like regular doctor, non-combat. We gotta check to see if we have supplies because you're sick, see what we can use, see how long we can even hide out here. So I didn't read that as Bashir trying to be like a hero. It's just more as doctor instincts kicking in of what do we have for first aid, food, how long can we stay? And O'Brien's like, I got combat experience. We don't do that. Like, we check for booby traps first. I've seen some shit. And it's also interesting that O'Brien's talked about fighting the Cardassians before. And for someone who has seen the shit that this man has apparently seen, he seems pretty chill about a lot of it. And I actually worry about his mental health. Like, he should be a little more unhinged.
It's that old school. You just swallow all that trauma, bury it deep down inside, pack it down. You keep packing it down until one day you fucking explode, and then you hope nobody else is around to catch the fallout.
Or you become an alcoholic. Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't judge that here either.
Don't we?
No, because I think if you went to the textbook definition of it, a few of us might have a thing or two to worry about.
Uh-oh.
We have to do an annual health survey thing at work, and it gets us a discount on our insurance, so we all take the damn thing and don't really give a. But it came up for several of us one year and said, you are all depressed alcoholics. And we're like, okay,
Might
moving
be a
on.
problem with the job
Yeah,
situation.
maybe it's our job that's making us this way.
Right? They should report that to the
I think
employer.
that's a call to leadership.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's like maybe we should pair that with the employee satisfaction survey. There may be a
All
correlation.
your employees are depressed alcoholics.
Prentice, what you got for us?
Well, I wanted to ask a question. Somebody mentioned that Bashir was a man whore. I can't really recall him getting busy at all in the last season and a half. So, is he really a man whore? I was
Well,
surprised
maybe a
about that
wannabe.
comment.
That seems to be like the reputation that they all have for him, right? Like they talk about it all the time, but yet to your point, like they never show it. Like you never see him like
He has no game. So, yeah.
Hey, when he was like your replicator or mine, that's that 24th century Star Trek space station saying game. Emily, Nicole, they might have fallen for it. Don't front. If Bashir would have been like your replicator or mine,
You know,
y'all
I
might
was
have been like,
about to be offended, and then like, but it's free food, so you know what? I might have.
I would have said his. I'm
Wait,
not gonna say
wait.
no.
All food is free. So, what are you talking about?
And as we just established when I said that we told Scott that he was Bashir, another reason beyond the arrogance is anybody who ever saw Scott, particularly after he had enjoyed a few, the man couldn't flirt for shit, and it was always hysterical. So he had about the same level of game as Bashir does. So just throwing that out there also.
I
Chris,
probably still would have fell for Bashir, though. I'm just saying.
Really?
I'm not going to say
Okay.
the next comment there that I was going to that popped in my head. That just won't work.
Let it out.
all right.
Let it all out.
So Emily, to like you were talking about how you didn't think that Bashir came off arrogant when he was like he was just being like the normal doctor, like checking
Yeah.
for supplies, right? But he's supposed to have gone through training, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I took a correspondence course in engineering. I can do this," right?
Yeah.
Like, but what I did like was as soon as O'Brien stepped in, right?
hmm
He listened to the chief.
Yes.
And any good junior officer, any good junior naval officer is going to listen to their damn chief when chief says, "Hey, this is what we need to be doing." And that was one of the most like realistic, like naval parts of this that I've seen, right? I've talked about before how they'll use the bosun whistle, they'll go on and on about naval heritage, and then like, but that was like the truest to form, like Navy that I've seen is chief talk, you shut up, you listen, and you do.
Right.
Chris.
Yeah, so speaking of O'Brien, and one of the main reasons, and it's one moment, but one of the main reasons that I really was like, okay, O'Brien's my guy, was at the end when the Keller Run and the Talani came in and caught him in their hideout or whatever. They were about to execute him, and O'Brien's like, wait, and then he gets up, which again, I'm like, I thought you said you couldn't feel your legs. I thought your legs didn't work, but now you're standing. Okay, whatever. But O'Brien was like, I want to die on my feet. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's some real shit right there. I want to die on my feet. I was like, okay, O'Brien, all right, I see you, man. That I don't know. That just made me like him a little bit more. I was like, all right, that's some hard shit. That was tough. He didn't go out like a punk. He was like, you're not going to shoot me down here dying of alien cancer on the floor, tucked away in the corner. I'm going to die on my feet like a real man. I was like, yeah, that's what's up.
And they did have that little last minute, it was an honor to serve with you, that polite exchange that I wonder if they would have known that the transporter was going to be right there, would he still been that nice?
Right.
Nicole.
Yeah, O'Brien's a fucking G, man. He was like, nah. No, I'm not going to take this shit line down. And he stood up with honor, and he was like, okay, here we are. We're going to take our licks. And I was just like, oh, God, I hope something happens. Like, I was wondering if they were going to come out from the shadows and take out all these crazy-haired aliens or what was going to happen. But I just knew they weren't going to kill off those two main characters. But I also wonder if they weren't facing death, if they would have been so nice to each other. Well, O'Brien would not have been as nice. Bashir might have still been nice, but not O'Brien.
Yeah, as soon as he felt better and he had his old lady by his
Yep.
side, he was back to being
He's
like,
like,
nah,
nah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I will say this episode does start another kind of running trend on Deep Space Nine. This is our second runabout that we see get destroyed. I will say, and I'll get yelled at for saying so, but that becomes kind of a running trend on this show with the runabouts. So if you do get confused, they all are named after rivers. So just be prepared. Don't try to keep up with the runabout names. We will go through several.
Is it like Fast and the Furious? They're just out there just wrecking shit left and right.
And anybody who has worked with government procurement, though, makes you wonder. It's like, at a certain point, Starfleet's going to ask, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, even if they can just replicate them. Like,
It's funny that you said that, Blake, because I'm currently binging The Rookie, which is completely unrelated to this. But in the first couple episodes, one of the rookies totaled like 4 or 5 cars. So they were like, you can't drive anymore. You can't touch these fucking cars anymore. Like, so it's like a running joke throughout the thing that he just keeps destroying their cars. And some of them weren't even his fault. Like a thing fell on one and they got hit by a semi. Like all this crazy stuff keeps happening. So he's kind of like marked as like, oh God, you're that guy. And it's just so funny because I actually, when you just said that, Blake, I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna have to look for that and just kind of laugh. But who's the one who keeps fucking the runabouts up? Is it one person that keeps getting them destroyed, or they just keep getting destroyed randomly?
And I will say it's not as bad as Scott's favorite Star Trek series of all time, Voyager. He loved Voyager. It was his absolute favorite. But there's actually memes for that one that go through, here's what they said they left with when they got stranded on the other side of the galaxy. Here's how much shit they actually went through. It's with never an explanation for how did you get more of these things.
So that was the Ganges that got destroyed, right? So R.I.P. Ganges.
Oh, anyone got any other thoughts on this episode?
We have like we're just coming into like AI and everything and like the deep fakes and AI created videos. And you mean to tell me in 300 years, we haven't figured out how to spot a damn deep fake? You haven't figured out how to...
Especially when the video will identify what the substance in the cup was.
Right.
You can't tell me that you can't figure out that was altered.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, you can't run an analysis and be like, this was tampered with.
So you mean to tell me those TikTok videos of Mr. Rogers telling people to fuck off aren't real? That really wasn't Mr. Rogers?
I saw a reel of Mr. Rogers and Tupac together.
Oh,
and Mr.
yeah.
Rogers was telling Tupac what he should use for his opening to hit him up. You see that one? He's like, first off, fuck your click or fuck your pitch and the click you claim. I would start off with something like that. And Tupac was like, oh shit, you got bars, Mr. Rogers?
I need to find that.
There's also ones where Bob Ross as well. And
Chris,
you've got
that's
Bob
horrible.
Ross just swearing at his painting.
There's one where Martin Luther King is in the WWE and he's playing a heel.
I have to see that.
Prentice is just shaking his head right now.
He runs off the dream gimmick. He's like, your dream dies tonight. I'm the dream killer.
Oh my God.
Because I have a dream. And in my dream...
There's also one out there of JFK talking about his nephew.
Oh, wow. Hey, man, AI. So we can do all this with AI here in 2025. In the 24th century, we can't get video analysis to detect that it was a fake.
Come on, the show was made in 93. Give him a break. Give him a break, sir. Jesus Christ.
We're going to break Prentice again.
I'm far more worried about the ability in the 24th century for the picture to be able to tell you what's in the mug, because there's many, many pictures that there's a few of us that might have to be worried if someone can click a few buttons and figure out, son of a bitch, that's not coffee in that mug.
There's going to be a lot more HR calls. Can you come to HR, please?
Yeah.
We saw footage of you at your desk at 11:30 a.m. drinking your coffee. You want to talk?
Yes, there's something you want to talk about. You're either going to self-report or we're going to do it for you.
It was bad enough when, in the middle of COVID, with what I was doing, I had to be on a very early morning phone call. And it was right after a whole group of us, of the college group. So Scott, Kevin, I think Christopher, you were on that call. The whole bunch of us basically spent a whole afternoon on Zoom having beverages and just talking and having fun. I left the bottle on my desk. Didn't even think about it. And I get on this early morning Zoom call with the head of our agency, my boss, and my boss and I are the first one, and he just very nonchalant, no judgment, just No questioning why that I have a bottle of whiskey on my desk at 6 in the morning. Just, Blake, maybe you want to move that off camera. So we've had those moments where we tempt HR, I think, as we have all adapted to working from home and what's in camera frame and what's not.
Yeah,
Like Scott wearing no pants.
Best one was still when Scott went to shut the door.
I was going to say, did he ever get up? He's wearing no pants. Did he ever get up?
So we did have an episode of Grey 17 where Scott had to go yell at one of the kids, I think, and he turned his video off. In fairness, he turned his video off, got up, went across the room, and somehow when he got to the door, his video decided, oh no, fuck this. And his video came back on, and there is Scott in his Deep Space Nine Niners t-shirt and his boxer briefs.
We were dying laughing. Camera. Oh, it was so
Which
funny.
Which one of you did it? Which one you did it? Come on.
It was his Zoom, so we didn't have control.
Yeah.
I was going to say, somebody hacked into his computer. He didn't come back like, what was her name? What's her name from Interview with the Vampire, the little girl? Kirsten Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. Kirsten Dunst. Who did it? Which one of you did it?
He didn't realize until he sat back down and we were all laughing our asses off. He's like, what's funny? Scott, put some pants on, damn it.
Oh my God. Yeah, he didn't, until he sat down and put his headphones on, he didn't know that we were all like dying laughing.
Not a clue.
So he didn't even know. The good old days.
So any final thoughts before we get the questions and predictions from our newbies?
I'm just glad to like an episode again.
Mm-hmm.
So are we, because we were getting a little weirded out by our little ray of sunshine just shitting on everything.
It was getting concerning.
You're welcome.
The whole risking like a diplomatic situation or like war with Starfleet and the Federation, when you've just come out of a centuries-long war, right, where they've basically killed the whole planet, it seemed like, and you're willing to start another war to get rid of this knowledge so completely, you're willing to start another war. It just that level of logic just seems like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
big hair doesn't equal big brains.
That's a good point though, because like the Federation is kind of like the mafia almost. It's like if you touch one of theirs, they're going to kill all of yours. Like you're really going to murder 2 Starfleet officers because you're afraid that this lingering knowledge could lead to more harvesters in the future. Like that's a good point, Chris. It doesn't make any sense to me.
But I wonder, how logically are they thinking? I mean, to hatch a plan like that in the first place, there seems to be kind of a little bit of a screw loose anyway.
I mean, they were willing to commit genocide. So.
Right. I mean, look, the scruples, the moral scruples, really aren't there. I get that, but you finally achieve peace, and your solution to keeping the peace is to potentially start another war.
Look, their military-industrial complex needs something to do. They gotta keep it going.
Should we talk about the U.S. defense industry and foreign policy?
Believe me, I'm well aware.
Because we might need a whole nother show to get into that topic.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode.
Okay,
and Commander Sisko, when he went to tell Keiko, that was another moment that was.
Oh yeah.
It was particularly well done. It was a hard scene to watch, and it's one of those moments like in command where I've been with commanders when they've had to make that visit, and he went alone, but they don't go alone, right? There's always somebody there with them. But that was a powerful scene, and it like to your point, Chris, it rose the stakes of the episode, which is something that's kind of been lacking in some of these where you have a Rubik's Cube so that was a powerful scene.
As we've said a few times during this, Avery Brooks is a hell of an actor. He truly is. I think they struggled in, especially season 1, still into season 2. I really think they struggled with, one, how to use Avery Brooks, but also I think they were still trying to keep him as the unoffensive captain and not letting him be, because they said multiple times they didn't want Hawk. That was one of their top fears in even casting him, was they didn't want to have Hawk on a space station. And I think we're starting to see in some of these episodes like this one, when they write the character and let him act it, it's better than when they're trying to force him into this role that he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I know Scott had mentioned that before, that in the beginning, it was really rough waters with Avery Brooks and the Cisco character, but eventually they kind of pulled back the reins and let him be more natural in the role, and that led to much better performances and better episodes, so on and so forth, as the series went on. So, yeah, I could see that.
All right, so let's go ahead and get any questions and predictions that we have out there, and let's go ahead and start with Nicole.
You already gave us 2. Are there more?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, so Bashir Dax smash. And Bashir and O'Brien get friendly.
Bashir Dax Hollow Hub edition.
Chris, any questions or predictions from you?
Are we going to see the Kelleran and the Talani again? The one great thing that I really love about sci-fi, just as a genre in general, is as a creative, you can go anywhere and do anything. It's fantasy similar in that the more I watch DS9, just the more expansive the Star Trek universe gets. I'm introducing new alien races and new technology and new things. And so whenever they introduce a new species or a new alien race, it's like, well, are we going to see them again? Are they going to play a bigger role? Are they going to become more prominent? I mean, the casuals and everybody, we all know the Vulcans and the Klingons, but like to get in these more specific episode-specific introductions and think about is that going to carry on, that's always interesting to me. And then, yeah, will this, I guess, conflict have any ripple effects, right? Will the Kelleran or the Talani become enemies of the Federation now because of what happened? And will that have consequences in the future? There's a couple of things that I thought about.
And Christopher.
So when do we get our Bashir and O'Brien buddy cop spinoff? And is there really some problems in Keiko's and O'Brien's marriage? You know, are we going to see them really struggle? Is she going to leave the station? Are they going to divorce? It's something they've hinted at a couple of times. So are we going to start to see like cracks in their marriage?
Okay, I think that gives us our questions and predictions, and we are going to get ready to throw all of our newbies out through the wormhole, and we're going to go visit with some prophets. I finally figured out what the hell we do in the after part of this show. For those who have been enjoying listening to us and aren't already, we do ask that you hit that subscribe button. That way you'll know when we premiere these episodes live on our YouTube channel. We do release them on Wednesday mornings across all platforms, but you can join us on YouTube for live chat. We also do have our Discord server, which you can join through our Patreon. That gets you access to Emily's Smut Corner, Mike's Music Corner, and a few other of our random unhinged thoughts that we put there, as well as exclusive content that we put out on the Patreon account, which we are getting better at posting things. We occasionally put out show notes and other commentary on there. And at some point, I think what we're going to try to do is see if we can't release the episodes a little bit early to folks on our Patreon account. So we're going to be looking into the possibility of doing that. So make sure to check those out. We also have our social medias below, including our new Twitter account, which you can join us at and follow our discussion there. And for the person that's going to point out that it's called X now, kiss my ass. I refuse to call it that, about like I refuse to call it the Willis Tower. The damn thing is Twitter, and it will stay Twitter regardless of what twat owns it. I am Blake, and with me tonight has been
Emily,
Prentice,
Chris,
Nicole,
and Christopher.
Thank you for listening to Especially the Lies, a Deep Space Nine podcast. You can find all the places to listen to and watch this podcast by searching for Especially the Lies on your podcast app or on YouTube. We want to hear from you, so join the conversation at Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review where you are listening to or watching this podcast. Especially the Lies is not affiliated with, and the podcast has not been prepared, approved, or licensed by Paramount or any other owners of the Star Trek copyright. All clips included in this podcast are the intellectual property of the respective copyright holders. They are included here for purposes of review, and no infringement is intended.
Why have you brought me here? Show yourselves. What do you want?
The Cisco has returned to us. He arrives with questions.
There are always questions.
So welcome back to the section of the show where we are going to talk all things spoilers with this episode. So if you have not watched past Armageddon game or don't care about spoilers, you might want to leave now so that we can have our little discussion and talk about all the questions and predictions that our newbies had. So let's start with the big one first. Does Bashir smash with Dax? He smashes with a Dax.
Yes.
But it's not this Dax.
It is not. How disappointed do we think they're going to be with that one?
Very much.
Very much.
Very much. Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't get with Jadzia Dax. She will get with Worf when Worf shows up in season 4.
Yep.
She will get infatuated with Worf and love all things Klingon. And when Terry Farrell leaves the series at the end of season 6, and we get Timu Dax with Ezri and Nicole DeBoer, Bashir is basically going to have a boner.
Scott is going to haunt you for that comment. I'm just saying.
I know he is, and I've said it to his face many times.
Wow.
That's harsh.
Come and haunt me, bro.
Yeah. It is interesting with people asking if Bashir and O'Brien actually become friends. Because yes, it in fact gets creepy at one point.
Yeah.
Because O'Brien says Keiko should be more like Bashir and catches himself right before it comes out of his mouth. That was really awkward. Yeah.
And this ties in too with, because the other question was, is there problems with O'Brien and Keiko's marriage? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Because she is going to leave, because she gets the botany assignment, because he finds her something to do, because she doesn't like DS9.
No.
And I think that's what they're missing. They all talk about, obviously some of them have seen other Star Trek series, and they talk about the families coming. This is a remote outpost in the middle of nowhere. This is not the Enterprise D hotel in space.
Right.
That had all of the amenities and all the fun stuff for kids and family. This is a very different environment. And to adjust to that is a bit of a struggle, especially for Keiko, who on TNG was a botanist. And they've even played that up through the series so far about she's lost with looking for something to do. She built the school in season 1 that Space Karen showed up and had bombed. But that's going to continue to be a struggle, and we will see Keiko leave, which then that's when we get even more of the O'Brien and Bashir buddy cop spinoff.
Yeah. Them and all their holodeck adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Complete with costumes.
What else did they throw at us?
If we would ever see the alien species again, I don't believe we see those species ever again.
Nope.
No. Which is kind of surprising that they would try to kill 2 Starfleet officers and the Federation. It's just okay.
We're still a little bit in the Alien of the Week mentality, though, with this one. Once we get into the Jem'Hadar, the Vorta, the Changelings, we'll see more of that recurring than what we have with the Alien of the Week that they just bring in for an episode or 2.
Yeah. It just does feel a little weird given the situation that seems to be swept under the rug. But yeah, we're still waiting for more of the serialization and
I mean, even the Scream not showing up again could have been a lost option there, because they could have easily came back.
Yeah, sure.
Did we determine if they were in the Alpha Quadrant or the Gamma Quadrant? They were in the Alpha Quadrant, right? Those 2 alien species?
Yes, I believe they were in the Alpha.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm checking that right now. Sure. Yep, Alpha or Beta Quadrant. So yeah, they were in normal state, in the normal side of the galaxy.
Yeah.
That could have been an interesting dynamic if they set it in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
And it almost would have fit better to some of the concern about the mentality, because with what we know about the Delta Quadrant, with what's coming, I think that mentality of kill anybody who knows about this would have been a better set story had they put it on the other side of the wormhole. It would have made more sense.
And it would make more sense for the Federation not having much of a response, because they're in another quadrant that direct potential conflict right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for this week's episode?
No, we kept it on the rails pretty well this week.
We're getting better.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm curious to see, because the next one of these we're going to record is Whispers, which is, I'm going to be honest, I think Whispers is a good episode. I actually think it's a great episode.
It's another O'Brien must suffer
It is, and I'm curious to see what they think about it as the paranoia before they get to that twist at the end that O'Brien is not O'Brien.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what they're going to think of that. I'll be honest, this is the one episode I almost wish we could have Justin watch and hop in. Just because the problem is he's seen the series, so it wouldn't work. He knows what's happening. But Justin's conspiracy mind on this one would just be out there.
I would love to know how he felt the first time he watched it, because he is all about conspiracy theories and red yarn and
that boy went through so much yarn and tinfoil on B5.
And gaslighting.
We didn't hear an angel. Did you hear an angel? No, not at all. So have you ever seen Babylon 5, Prentice?
I have. I have seen some episodes, not the whole series.
So Ambassador Kosh, when he leaves in his encounter suit, in the episode where he saves Sheridan, who jumps out of like the sky tram because it was going to blow up, he appears as a deity to everybody there. So to the humans, he appears as an angel. To the Narn, he appears as one of their gods and mythical figures. Same with the Centauri. And there was a scene earlier in the show that it had Kosh out of his encounter suit. It was off screen. You couldn't see it. And Justin swore and be damned that he heard wings flapping.
So as a newbie who was I was a newbie with Justin, I was like, dude, I didn't hear shit. What are you talking about? Are you hallucinating things?
And those of us who knew what was happening just kept saying, oh no, you heard that wrong. That must have been a glitch in the audio. We gaslit him for almost a year until we got to the episode where Kosh comes out of the suit, people see the angel, and he was the night we did that episode.
Oh my God.
That was an interesting one.
He was so happy. He was like, I was right. And then he was like, you assholes.
And many, many things. So we will have to find an opportunity to gaslight some newbies on this one. We'll have to see what we can come up with. So I think that covers us for tonight. We will be back next week with Whispers. I have been Blake, and with me has been
Emily.
Prentice.